My name is Mary Booth. I am a PhD ecologist. I'm co-founder of the Massachusetts Environmental Energy Alliance. I have taken an interest in the biomass plants that are proposed to be built in western Massachusetts, and I'm especially interested in Palmer. What is Palmer Renewable Energy? Well, for those of you who don't know, this is going to be a biomass burning plant that will generate 38 megawatts of power. Thank you, that's perfect. Biomass means that it's burning stuff that's derived from living material. It's going to burn 700 tons a day of CDD wood, that's construction and demolition debris wood, up to 900 tons per day. The CDD wood will include pressure-treated wood, painted wood, and glued and manufactured wood products. The balance of the plant's fuel will be made up with forest biomass. This is the equivalent of about 45 tractor-trailer loads of wood a day. More trucks than that on any given day will come to the plant because they probably won't deliver fuel on Sundays. So it's a lot of wood. If you can picture a 20-ton tractor-trailer truck, it's like the volume of part of this room. That's a lot of wood. Well, looking at biomass, Palmer biomass in the context of what's proposed in the valley in general, there's actually several plants that have been talked about, but there are 3 in the permitting process right now. Russell Biomass in Russell, Palmer here, and then Pioneer Renewable Energy in Greenfield for a summed generation of 135 megawatts. Those plants that are in the permitting process right now at 135 megawatts represent less than 1% of the state's total power generation capacity, summer peaking capacity as of 2007. So the message that I want to bring home today is that this is a really, really small benefit for really, really large costs. Well, why is biomass being incentivized? It's being incentivized because biomass is assumed to be carbon neutral, and what that means is that if you cut and burn a tree or burn some wood-derived product, it's assumed that it will grow back. It costs a lot of money. If you want to emit carbon, you have to pay to do so. But these plants don't have to pay to do so. So biomass is incentivized under new state laws, and there's a big push to put a lot of it online quickly. Well, I'm not going to talk a lot about carbon neutrality and the assumption thereof, but I am going to just give one little plug here. Carbon neutral, not really. Per megawatt hour, Palmer's carbon emissions will be almost 1.5 times as much as the Mount Tom coal plant per unit of energy generated, and almost 4 times as much as the new gas plant that's being built in Westfield. DEP themselves have said that C&D is probably not, you can't even demonstrate that it's carbon neutral because you can't do a life cycle analysis for it. All of these plants will have significant air pollution impacts, and the Palmer in particular has some really interesting impacts. These fall into the criteria pollutants and then the hazardous air pollutants, perhaps. The biggies are nitrogen oxides, NOx, which is a precursor of ground-level ozone. That means it's an ingredient of ground-level ozone, which, when it combines with volatile organic carbons, makes basically a chemical that causes asthma, exacerbates respiratory problems, heart disease. These plants are all major emitters of particulate matter, which is also linked to asthma, heart disease, cancer. Soot has a role in climate warming even. They're also going to be major sources of diesel particulate matter, which is a particularly noxious form of particulate matter. The hazardous air pollutants is the really nasty stuff that's persistent, bioaccumulative, and toxic. It's bad for you at any level. And then the metals, which are a subset of the hazardous air pollutants, which we all know that metals are elements. They don't go away. Once they're emitted, they don't break down. So these things are emitted into they're taken from solid form where they're in the fuel, and they're basically vaporized and put into an inhalable form. I really love this. Quality of air is quality of life. This used to be on the US EPA's Air Now site. I don't know if it is anymore, but I think that's really true. Quality of air is quality of life. And as an overview of Massachusetts in the context of the United States, this is a national scale assessment from EPA recent of non-cancer respiratory risk from air pollution. And you can see that Massachusetts, way over there, has some of the darkest colors. That means some of the impacts are the highest in the whole country, right here in Massachusetts. And ironically, right here in Western Mass, where, well, I'm from Amherst area, which is, you know, less developed than Springfield, and it's always sort of surprising how bad our air quality is. And it's because we get a lot of stuff that comes up from New York and other places. So Massachusetts has large problems with air quality. This is the estimated county level carcinogenic risk. That means cancer risk. Massachusetts is also in one of the darker colors there. Whole state is in the 25 to 50 in a million category for cancer risk. Massachusetts is out of compliance with EPA's ground level ozone standard already. This is a map of the state with the different colors showing different levels of ozone. For as early as May 22nd, we were already out of compliance with EPA's ground level ozone standard. Just to show you what those colors mean, we were in the orange category. That's unhealthy for sensitive groups. And it says the following groups should limit prolonged outdoor exertion. People with lung disease, such as asthma, children and older adults, and people who are active outdoors. Well, who's left? Two of the problems that are known to exist are that asthma rates of hospitalization are twice the statewide average. And a quote from the Department of Environmental Health, respiratory disease among the pediatric population attending school in relatively close proximity to the proposed facility is significantly higher than statewide rates. Kids have asthma, and kids living in the area of where Palmer is going to be built have extra high asthma. Childhood blood lead levels are also a concern in this area. The level of concern is 10 micrograms per deciliter, and that is actually not even considered to be protected by the World Health Organization. It's at least half that is probably a better, more healthy standard. But the bottom line is that the number of kids in this area per capita who have high blood lead levels is twice the state average. This is a map I put together today from a new tool. The Bureau of Environmental Health has come out with a very nice mapping program that lets you map cancer rates over the whole state. So I mapped up Springfield. That red dot is Page Boulevard, where Palmer will be located. And this is by, I think it's by census tract, is how it's mapped up. And the darker colors are obviously higher rates of cancer, and this is for lung cancer. Now, I'm not saying that, we don't know what causes lung cancer. Lots of things cause lung cancer. It's the ambient air pollution, but a lot of people smoke. But the bottom line is that if you already have high cancer rates, do you want to add to air pollution and potentially make them worse? This is a little muddy, I'm sorry about that, but this is a Google Earth screenshot of the area around Palmer. That little red circle at the middle is where the facility would be located, and the yellow circle is a 4-mile radius, and then the yellow dots all around are schools. Just to make the point that there are a lot of schools and a lot of homes located in this area. This is a heavily residential area. Even though it looks industrial, it's actually heavily residential, and lots of school-age kids who will be breathing air.